Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E.G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
Minute 18 of Groundhog Day. Phil tries to rain on Larry's parade and ends up taking a cold shower. Sorry, I had to try to be clever about my description for a change. We start with Phil. He is on the phone at the gas station. This is Woodstock, Illinois, a few blocks off the square, posing, of course, as somewhere in the vicinity of Punxsutawney. And he's continued telling them, I'm both. I'm a celebrity in an emergency. Can you patch me through on that line, please? And then guy who we have just maybe caught a glimpse of a moment ago outside, shoveling outside by the pumps, comes in with his snow shovel and gets distracted by a woman. I believe it's a woman walking past, exiting. And he turns and the shovel swings, hits Phil in the head, doesn't notice, doesn't apologize, and Phil can't do anything about it. One more knock on Phil because he needs it. The universe is getting him ready for an experience. Cut to interior bar. As I said last minute or minute before, I forget. Recent episode. This bar is in the courthouse on the west side of the town square in Woodstock. And I don't see a fireplace. I was asking, was that last minute about whether or not there's a fireplace, or 2 minutes ago. And if there is supposed to be one in here, we haven't seen it. The only place I think we see a fireplace in the film is in Phil's room. We might see evidence of one at Cherry Street, I don't remember. We might see the edge of a chimney or something.
Jumping in from editing just to say, yes, there's a mantle and implicitly a fireplace right behind Phil when he's watching Jeopardy.
And Phil holds up, like he's got his glass. Can I have one more of these with some booze in it, please? Ooh, I like it here. He's sarcastic even when he doesn't need to be. No one's listening to him right now. He's at the bar and the bartender just wants to know what his drink order is. Then Rita and Larry show up. Rita's on the left of Phil, by our frame of reference. Larry's on the right, but Larry is squeezing in on the right, where there's a woman over there who is really annoyed by the fact that Larry just bumped her. But does Larry even seem to notice? I don't think so. I argued in my blog once that Larry is essentially a budding version of Phil, potentially. Because later he's got the cheap come-ons with Nancy. Here he bumps into a woman and doesn't even pay any attention to her. He doesn't apologize. Kind of like the shovel, just this same minute. Hit Phil, didn't apologize. Rita asks, Phil, are you going to the groundhog dinner? That's the banquet we will see later, of course. No, I had groundhog for lunch. It wasn't bad. Tastes like chicken. See, that's actually kind of funny. He's not being rude with his humor here. He's just maybe a little dismissive in his tone, but the joke is funny. You two run along. And then he looks over at Larry, of course, and sees that sweater. Wow, Larry. Looking foxy tonight, man. Such bully behavior. Hey, is your troop going to be selling cookies again this year? The fantastic thing here. Yes, he's being a bully. He's being dismissive. He's being rude. But the way he turns around when he says, hey, is your troop going to be selling cookies again this year? It's like he doesn't even care anymore who he's talking to. Which is like even ruder. It's like his volume's going down and he's turning away from Larry before he finishes the insult. Because he's suggesting, of course, he looks like a Girl Scout. Which, I used to have a sweater like that. It looks like it's a wool sweater. Probably fairly warm, pretty comfy. You might have to wear a shirt under it all the time. Because it might be a little scratchy, but it looks nice. I don't know. Phil's got issues, man. He insults whatever. But Larry doesn't take the bait. That's so funny, Phil. And Rita asks, so what are you going to do? See, she's taking an interest, being a producer. Has she reprimanded him for his unprofessional behavior earlier today or yesterday with the sexual harassment? Probably not. Is she going to report him? I don't know. She's new. Maybe she won't even report him, but she won't even have the chance because, as it turns out, the way she experiences this trip tonight, he intrigues her enough that she buys him at the auction and she ends up in his bed. So this current iteration doesn't necessarily matter as far as her overall experience, which is an unfortunate aspect of the time loop itself, is that Phil's the only one who gets to experience things. In a way, it's a benefit for him. Like, yeah, he may feel trapped, but also he's the only one who's free. Damn, that was a good line. Anyway, Phil answers, I think I'm going to go back to my room and take a hot shower. Okay, nice, useful information. She doesn't need to know about his shower, but yeah, that makes sense. You want to go back and take a shower. Get warm. Maybe read. Okay, still going well. Hustler or something. I'm shaking my head on audio. He just had to ruin it. He's going to go back to his room and read a Hustler magazine. You don't read Hustler magazine. Do they have articles and stuff? Yes. You read Playboy. You don't read Hustler. Playboy is famous for good interviews and, like, actual serious reporting. It's a magazine for adults, not just with naked people. Hustler, on the other hand, from what I've seen of it many, many years ago, yeah, you don't read Hustler. Rita, like Larry, doesn't really take the bait. She says, suit yourself. And then she's, like, ready to go. She doesn't need to linger with him at the bar if he's going to be a spoil sport. And then the rest of the minute, we get Phil trying to take that hot shower at the Cherry Street Inn. And it's a cute little bathroom. Got a bathtub built in with a curtain that goes around it. A thing hanging on the spout that's got like shampoos and soaps and stuff. There's quite a few options for a bed and breakfast. I would think it would be a bed and breakfast would probably be more like a hotel where they have just shampoo, body soap, maybe a lotion. And that's it. And you got to provide the more specific stuff if you need more stuff. But there's a lot of options here. Or maybe it's just stuff that's been left behind by other people. Or other people staying here right now left it in there because they know they want to take another shower while they're here. But of course, Phil turns on the water. And like an idiot, he is already in the shower. He grew up in Cleveland. He lives in Pittsburgh. And he's in Punxsutawney. All of these places are cold. It is February 2nd. It is winter. The middle of winter. The idea that he just assumes the water's going to be hot and just is in there? No. I live in the city. And you know what I don't do? I don't get into the shower and then turn the water on. Because you don't know what the temperature is going to be when it comes out. It's going to be too hot or it's going to be too cold. Usually too cold. But he's had a weird day and it's going to get weirder. So I guess I forgive him this stupid lapse of judgment. But the only dialogue we get is him, because he kind of just shrieks and says, oh God. Because, yeah, that water's gonna be cold. And we'll get a little more about that cold water next minute. That's all I got for minute 18. Till next time, watch more movies.
Knew you were gonna say that.
And if you can, watch some time loop movies. I know I'm not doing time loop of the week this season. But if you ask me on social media, Robert E.G. Black, pretty much on any social media, I will send you the link to my IMDb list of time loops that covers video games, TV episodes, and movies. It does include a few things that aren't technically time loops. They're more like they feel like time loops, but I feel like it fits. If you want the link to that list, follow me on social media or contact any of the Groundhog Day Project accounts or join the Facebook group, which I think is going to be mentioned in the outro. Lemming Drops Studio Tour.
Knew you were gonna say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, lapping, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?